On today's photo moment, we're going to be setting up the Epiphan X2 and then doing a live broadcast, which is actually going to trickle into a different show using the GH5. Let's see how it works. Good morning and welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the first live daily show on photos, on videos, on YouTube, on weekdays, on 9:30. There's a lot of ons on there. There's probably too many of them. How y'all doing today? Greetings and salutations to you. It's good to have the live audience tuning in as always. A good chunk of you tuning in today already. I see all kinds of chatter going on in the live chat room, which is fun. This is why you want to tune in live, because you can do this. You get to come in and do the chit chat and have a chit chat. And if you want to say something clever or say something witty and get my attention, you put a little @PhotoJoseph in there. If you really want to get my attention, hit that little $sign down on the bottom. That's the super chat button. We like that. And also, speaking of attention, right here, there we go, photojoseph.com/Patreon or patreon.com/PhotoJoseph. They both go to the same place. If you want to support the show on a monthly basis, that is a beautiful way to do it. You know, every little nickel helps. So, today's show, we are going to play with this Webcaster X2. This is the Epiphan Webcaster X2. When I showed this last time, I didn't have my close-up camera set up, but I have it set up now. So let's do a quick little, there is the X2, or did I? Maybe I did have it set up. I don't know. But anyway, there it is, just in case you missed the unboxing of it. This is the box, got a whole slew of ports on here. You got your HDMI in, USB. Some of these ports aren't enabled yet. MicroSD is not yet enabled. AV port's not yet enabled. Over here we got a LAN port, so if you're gonna go Ethernet, you can go straight in on there. We're actually gonna use the big honkin' Wi-Fi antenna today, so we're gonna use that to connect to my Wi-Fi network. HDMI out, which we will be using as well, because that's how you see what's going on here, and a couple other ports that some are not all in use yet, but that's okay. It's one of these things where they built the hardware and they future-proofed the hardware, let's say that, so that they can continue to add features via software updates or firmware updates, whatever you want to call them, and add functionality to it. So in case you're wondering what the heck this thing is, the whole idea behind the Webcaster X2 is that it allows you to stream to YouTube or Facebook. Not both simultaneously, YouTube or Facebook. Its predecessor, the X1, one device did YouTube, and then you had to buy a separate one for Facebook. So this is an all-in-one, which is excellent. We like that. It is also physically smaller than the previous one, and we're going to find out today if it works more better. I love the big, huge wireless antenna on here. This is great. So you get really good signal, good reception, not trying to just build in tiny antennas into it. So that should help, I would hope, with doing live streaming. Now, I have not yet done a live stream with this. All I've done with this is plugged it in just to make sure that it actually powered up and that I could control it. And I said, that's enough. I'm backing out because we're going to do an actual live setup of the device today. We're going to connect it to my Wi-Fi network, connect it to my YouTube channel, connect a camera to it. We're going to be using a GH5 for that. And then once that's all set up, I'll go into YouTube. I'll create a new show, connect to the show, and then we'll start streaming to it. So we'll do a simultaneous. Because I think I can simultaneously stream. I don't think I have to cancel this show to do that one. I'm pretty sure we can. We'll see how this works. Oh yeah, we've done that before, haven't we? Yeah, with other devices. So we can do that. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to do today. We will, of course, be breaking out as we can for questions. Try and keep your questions relevant to the task at hand, being live streaming Webcaster X2 related. And we will come back afterwards for a larger, longer Q&A, whatever the commentary sections, if you want to ask anything else that you'd like to talk about. We can do that then. So with that said, I think that's everything I need to do here. I need to unplug my ears because I'm going to walk out into, should we just take these off entirely? It's so weird when you have monitors in and, oh great, I've tied this up. When you have monitors in and you unplug them, because then the whole world goes very, very quiet. And you have no idea what's actually happening. Okay, great. I should have planned for this better. My regular headphones, one of them, the cable died, and I'm waiting for a replacement to come. In the meantime, I use these, which I love, but they're really quite tangly. Okay, let's go out in the other room and see, I need this, and I need this, and I think that's it. Let's go out there. And since Ryan is here today, he's actually going to be doing a little bit of camera control. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Although I seriously doubt that's tracking focus as I walk in. He's using, of course, oh, hi, Jason. Jason's here today. Hello. That was the bicycle sound you heard. He's using the Blackmagic, what's this thing called? Oh, I just forget the name of it. Studio Camera 4K, here we go. This is what we're using today. We used this yesterday for the first time. I swapped lenses this morning. So all the color profiling that I did yesterday, I ended up swapping lenses today. Now I'm using the 12 to 35 f2.8, a bit brighter. I think this will work out better, but I might have to do a little color tweaking. I don't know, we'll find out. So anyway, this is the camera that we're using today. Thank you, Blackmagic, for that again. All right, let's get this thing started, shall we? So, one more cable that I need. Where's that? Sorry, it's over here. We're gonna need this. We're using the extra long HDMI cable again, because what we're going to do is show you the setup screen on this. Hopefully this is going to work right. So here's the routine. First off, we got our box. We're going to plug in an HDMI out, a monitor to the out. Now I'm gonna make some references to this guy, my VidiU Pro. Let's keep in mind, whenever talking about this, the price difference. This is a $1,000 device, this is a $300 device. So very, very different in that regard. One of the conveniences of this device is that you don't need an external mouse, you don't need an external monitor, you don't need a keyboard, you don't need anything else to control this. You can do everything from the interface here or via an iOS or Android app. I'm pretty sure there's an Android app. Has to be an Android app. Definitely an iOS app. You can do everything in there. So this is all that you need. When you're setting up the Webcaster, you need a couple things. You need an external monitor, which means you could plug it into an Atomos if you happen to have one of those laying around. You could plug it into any cheap HDMI LCD monitor. If you've got an extra computer screen, you could plug it into that. Television screen in your hotel, you could plug it into that. But you have to plug it into something to configure it. So there's that. The second thing is you have to have a mouse to control it, to do the configuration. You don't have to have a keyboard. There is a soft keyboard that'll come up. It's actually running Android, so whenever you come to anywhere that has a text input field, a keyboard will come up, and then you can use the mouse to navigate through and type in the letters, which is gonna be really fun entering the passcode, I just realized, for this. Anyway, for my Wi-Fi network. But you do need those. So if you're traveling with this, you do have to travel with a mouse and rely on having some kind of display with you, or wherever you're going. So there is that part of it. But with that said, again, only $300, so definitely a big price drop. And if you're setting this up for use in your studio or your home or whatever you're not taking on the road, then the things I just mentioned are irrelevant, because you'll have those laying around, you set it up once and then you forget it. It's more important if you're actually taking it out and about and trying to use it on the go. Okay, so let's plug this thing in. So I'm got DC power on this thing. We got power on there. Plugging this in, I've got my HDMI going out into the Atomos so that I can see the screen, and then I'm going to take this big old HDMI and plug it into the output of the Atomos so that you can see this. That is the plan. Hopefully it works. And we're also going to take the camera, take my GH5, which I'm going to make sure is set to 1080p output. It must be because I was using it yesterday. Yes, it is. And we're going to connect the HDMI from the GH5. I'm going to leave the microphone off for now so we don't get any sound loop through, and plug this into the HDMI input. So here we go. And voila, it's already shown up on there. We're already seeing that. And with any luck, if I do this, you should see, and you're not seeing it. What just happened? Why did it go dark? That's not good. Wrong camera. Let's come back to here. Ruh-roh. It's occurring to me that I may have not tested this part of the whole procedure yesterday. Oh, because it's 30p out. Darn it. And I can't downscale and I can't set this to 24. Wait, maybe if I set this to 24. Ah, yes, let me set this to 24. Okay, give me a second here. I thought I set everything up yesterday, and at some point last night I'm going, did I actually set up everything I needed to do? I might not have. Apparently not. Okay, let's do HD 24p. Oh, I gotta change the frequency of this to True 24 Cinema. If you're wondering why I'm having to do this, remember that my switching setup is based off of True 24p, not 2398, not 2997, 24p. And there's reasons for that, which I've discussed in previous shows, but that's what this camera, that's what everything has to be outputting to flip into this switching system. So now let me go in and change the quality of this to 1910 1080 24p. Excellent, excellent. And now, is that right? It's still outputting 30 over there. So this box is outputting 30. It's actually doing 4K 30. What? That doesn't make any sense. Well, if we can't get this working, then you're going to be looking at the screen. We'll just have Ryan point the camera at this. But this is definitely outputting 1080p. That it is doing. It is 1080p out. Going into here, this is for some reason. Hey, Epiphan, why would my Atomos be telling me that this box is outputting 4K 30p? That doesn't make any sense. That's not possible, but that's what it's seeing. Let me just unplug and replug that. It still says it's receiving 4K 30. Why would this box be outputting 4K 30? That's like technically not possible, right? Because it should only be doing 720 or 1080. I'm definitely outputting 1080p 24 on here. Okay, we're gonna have to go into the chat room and I'm gonna take a look at the comments. Epiphan, let me know what you think about that, because I did not realize this when I was setting it up yesterday that it was doing that. It's down-resing, but it's down-resing to 1080p 30 because for some reason it is converting the 24p signal into 30 on the way in and out. Let me just power cycle this box and let's see if that makes any difference. Let's try that real quick. No input. Some of the fun of doing live setup, isn't it? Let's see, still says 4K 30. Very, very interesting. So it doesn't mean that it's streaming 4K 30, but for whatever reason, the webcaster is actually outputting on the HDMI a 4K 30p signal. Very curious indeed. All right, let me, you can follow me if you want. I'm gonna grab my iPad and bring up comments so that I can see what's going on in the chat room, see if Epiphan's got any suggestions about this. But this is what's happening now. Very, very curious. Okay, so in the meantime, Ryan, let's see here. How are we gonna do this? We're gonna have to switch this around. I'm gonna switch positions here. We're gonna rotate this so that you can point your camera at this to some degree. Try and get the little foot to pop out. There we go. We'll turn that a bit more for you. Can you zoom in on that? I am pulling up my chat room. We'll turn that a bit more for you. Mute that. And Epiphan says, this is Epiphan's got to say, you may be getting 4K display out, but the live stream will be 1080p. It streams at 1080p 30 or 720p 30. Okay. Well, isn't that interesting? So Epiphan's saying we may be getting 4K out. Guess what? We are getting 4K out. That I can confirm. It says so right here, input 4K. Alrighty, well, let's just continue, shall we? So I'm gonna come over to the other side of this thing, because I have to be able to see this. Can you zoom out wide enough to, will that even work? I don't know if this is gonna work at all. This is clearly a very well thought out, planned out show. Nope, okay. Let's try it this way. All right, well, I'll just do this. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull this back here. You're gonna have to reframe for that. But maybe you don't really need to look at that too much. Let's just get this moving on. So I'm gonna take my mouse. So you could use a USB mouse. I'm using a wireless mouse with a USB dongle on it. I know that I had tried using the Apple mouse with the X1 and it didn't work for whatever reason. I haven't tried that with the X2 because I already have this, but this is what I've got. So I'm gonna plug this guy into the USB on here and plug that in. And there we go, we've got mouse. You can see that, maybe you can see the mouse running on there. All right, so now, this is gonna be really a challenge to do upside down. I go into settings, there we go, and go to Wi-Fi, and let's enable Wi-Fi. God, this is hard to do upside down. I'm going to come around to the other side and let you just zoom in on that screen while I narrate.
I'm getting huge glare.
You're getting glare. Okay, well then let me tilt this a little bit more.
Even more glare.
Even more glare. How about like that?
There we go.
All right, there we go. Okay, so Wi-Fi. Oh, connect to, didn't want to connect to the guest network and it falls over. Let's try this again. Oh, I can tell this video is going to get a bunch of thumbs downs. All right. Oh, they can't all go as planned. All right, so this is my guest network. That's fine. The password is Photo Studio in case anybody wants to come join my guest network. And so you can see how I'm mousing it over, having to mouse in the password on the keyboard, which is super fun. I hope I got all the right letters in there. And done. And, oh, it can show password. Did I get that? Looks like it's right. And click connect. And let's see if it connects. And it's connected. Excellent. Oh, good. So that was easy. So it pops up this code that basically says to connect to YouTube. So it's already set for YouTube. And there's somewhere else in the preferences where you can change that. It says to pair with your account, go to google.com/device and punch in that code. So that's what I'm going to do. Nobody do this ahead of me. Just don't, because that would be rude. All right, I'm launching Chrome. I'm going to, that'd be funny because you would suddenly be able to start streaming to my account using this, but you'd have to have this device, so it probably wouldn't really work. YouTube, come on, youtube.com/ what was it, device, and hopefully I'm already logged into my account. What? Oh, google.com/device, I knew that. google.com/device. And there we go, select the account. the Photo Joseph account, enter the code. The code is FHXWVPRX. Next. And it's thinking, select an account again. Okay, fine. But incorrect code, try again. FHXW, FHXW. I wonder if that means somebody already did this. VRPX, VRPX. Or if I'm just being dyslexic and trying to read upside down. There we go, aha, allow. I typed it in wrong. So, good, that's working. Excellent, return to your device to continue. There you go, it just has automatically connected itself there, so that's excellent and good and working. And, let me get my comments back up here. See what's happening over here. Gary says you should take the output of the Ninja to your ATEM so we can see your screen direct. Yes, Gary, that was the original plan. So that's what this cable is supposed to be doing. But here's the problem. So my ATEM requires a 1080p 24 signal. For whatever reason, the Webcaster is outputting 4K 30, even though I'm feeding it 1080p 24 off of this camera. So it's converting the HDMI out again. So for whatever reason, because the Webcaster on the HDMI out is using a 30p output, which again has nothing to do with the broadcast. Well, I guess we would hope, but we don't actually know. I don't think we have a way to monitor that because we can't see what the frame rate, incoming frame rate is on YouTube. But it is, for whatever reason, the HDMI out is going to 30p, and this box, the Atomos, will not convert a 30p signal to 24. It just outputs whatever the frame rate is coming in. So that's why. That's why we're having to have Ryan zoom in on the camera there, with the camera. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue setting this up. So that was super easy to set up, minus the issues that are not normal setup problems, just because I'm trying to do a live show. And I guess we're good. How do we get out of here? I seem to recall there being some weird method to get out of there. Oh yeah, right click and it gets you out of that mode. Okay. So now I cannot see the screen from here. I can unpair, I can hit preferences. If I click on YouTube, let's see, oh, that just does that. I'm looking for the thing that's going to show me what show I'm going to connect to. Encoding resolution, oh that's good, let's check this. It's set to 1280, I want to do 1080, so let's go back to 1080 on there. Encoding resolution, yep, set to 1080 now, excellent. Video bitrate, we're going to go high, we're going to go for 4000, I want the highest quality. Enable USB camera, we're not doing that yet, we'll look at that in another show. And that appears to be that. Start, let's see, where was that? Start automatically, show comments, so that's not enabled or not available. I don't think, let's see if I click on that. Oh, there we go. Show comments off, left or right, it's on the right, okay, good. Use YouTube to preview before going live, yes. Yeah, we're not gonna do that today. Normally I would. So what that's talking about is, come over here real quick. What that's talking about is when you go live to YouTube, you can go two different ways. If you create an event, you can, from your device, say go live, and it just goes boom, boom, connects and takes you live. Or you can have it go in two stages where it starts streaming to YouTube. You can then open up a browser, monitor your stream, make sure everything's hunky-dory, and then actually go live. So it's kind of a two-stage. It goes to YouTube first and then to the public, or just straight YouTube and then public all in one click. Usually I do it in two stages because that allows me to take the time to set up and make sure it's all good there, but we're not gonna do that today. We're just gonna go straight to, which means I'm choosing the option to go automatically. Where was it? Use YouTube to preview, so we're leaving that turned off. Pair automatically after reboot, that's good, and start stream automatically after pairing. Let's not do that. That basically means you turn it on and it immediately starts streaming. Let's not get carried away. Okay, let's see if I can do the rest of this upside down. So right click to get out of this page, excellent. And let's see here, it's connected to my channel, updates available, we're not gonna update. Oh yes, so I was just told this morning, the firmware update has been released that allows you to use the box with 48 kilohertz audio, which is going to be required for me to stream from my ATEM, because my ATEM outputs 48. With the current firmware that's on here, it only supports 44.1 kilohertz audio. A very important differentiation. Okay, so that's up, so we're not gonna do the update right now. Destination stream now, that's not what I want. So if I click on that, nope, I'm trying to figure out how I choose where I'm gonna stream to. Nope, that's where I wanna stream, YouTube. Hopefully that's not gonna disconnect me. Nope, still to Photo Joseph. Well, I'm trying to find my show. Maybe that's in the settings. Remember, I did this with the X1 before, and some of this is very familiar, but that was a while ago. Some of it is not. Let's click out of here. It's not in settings. Let's look in preferences. In the meantime, since my friends from Epiphan are on here, maybe you can tell me what I'm doing wrong. Use title from, here we go, publish destination. That's what I need. Okay, there's a list of the shows. So I have not set up a new show yet. So now I need to set up a new show. So I'm going to do that real quick. And why don't I'm going to head back in the other room real quick so I can show you how this works, because then you can see this on my computer in here. Oh, whoops, I forgot my iPad to do the switching. Kind of need the iPad to do the switching. Here we go. All right, got the iPad, got the switcher. And let's bring this back in. All right, admittedly, not the most organized show I've ever done. That's the fun of it. Epiphan says broadcast is at 30 FPS to YouTube. So Epiphan, you're saying then that the box will convert a 24p signal to 30. Good to know. Definitely would want to set your camera to 30p if you're doing that. Oh, and I saw you had a comment yesterday. Someone had asked about using it in PAL countries. You had said in the comments that you've tested the box with a signal generator that does support 25 and 50p, but that means it's probably going to convert it to 30p for the output. Interesting. Okay. All right, let's see here. The decimator will fix that. Yes, the decimator will fix all of these problems. I do have one that's sitting over here. That's how I get my iPad up there. But I obviously didn't plan this out that well. So, I can't run that out there. It'd be too much like hard work to run that out. Actually, would it? Let's not do that. Let's not add to the complication. Okay, I'm going to create an event. So let me open this up first, and then I'll show you how this works. Close that and go to live event scheduled. So here we are in YouTube. This is my YouTube live events page. That's the show that's live right now. Here's all my upcoming shows. And I'm going to create a new one. And we're going to say, watch live from the Epiphan X2 and Lumix GH5. And we're going to say today at 10, I'm going to put, 10 o'clock, that's fine. And this is a live test. Okay, we need to set this to public. And advanced settings, we'll promote when the event goes live, that's fine. I'm going to say low latency so that we get a more closer to real-time chat, create that event. At this point, if I wanted to, I could go in and add a graphic for it. We're just waiting for it. You don't see a progress bar right now, but you're just waiting. I could create a graphic for it, but I'm not going to bother doing that. I would upload that graphic here. If not, I'll just use the default thumbnail. And I do need to choose a bit rate. So I'm going to choose 1080p between 3 and 6K. We chose 4K on the device, and that's it. Save changes. And it is now ready to go. So in theory, this should be working. So I'm going to make sure that doesn't do anything there. Let's go back to, so that's muted, that's all good. I think we're ready to go. Okay, let's go back out there, see what happens. So, heading back out. And, I'm going to pull this show up on here so I can monitor it. I guess that'll just do that. I was going to put this on here. So, get this guy mounted on here so I can point it at myself and selfie cam this thing. I'm going to turn my microphone on the camera as well. There we go. Let's turn the mic on. That's on. You're kidding me. Somehow, overnight, my battery has died on the microphone. This is it's a 9-volt. This is a good day for live, isn't it? In case you're wondering how to change batteries on the Shure lens hopper. Oh wait, is it a 9-volt? Maybe this is not. Maybe this one is, oh, this is a AA, single AA. Excellent, single AA. I knew there's a reason I liked the Shure. I don't like the 9-volt batteries in the Rhodes. Pain in the tuchus. Thank you very much. All right. Isn't it good that Ryan's back? All right, put that back on there. Oh yeah, there we go. Look, now we have light. Okay. Slide that into place. And plug that in. Test, test, test. Excellent, we have audio. Let's go nice and wide on this. And we're just gonna flip this thing around over here. And like so, and that'll work. Focus-ish. Okay, that's set, that's plugged in, that's feeding in a signal. If I look at, I'm gonna get rid of this since you can't see that anyway. Things falling down, let's get rid of this screen, and we are, in theory, ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit start. on the device. Let's get a better view than that. That's terrible. We hit start on the streamer, and it should be going straight to live. So you guys watching should be able to open a second browser window and open the live stream on the streamer. There we go. Stop. And it should be. There we go. And we're live. We now have 2 live shows going. Excellent. That actually worked. This is totally not set up good for video, but that's okay. I think it's a bit of a dark image coming up on the GH5. But there you go. I think I have 2 simultaneous. We should have plenty of bandwidth.
Mainstream. This is the main.
It should have just gone live. I can't pull it up on the iPad. It's not showing that second show. I'm going to go into the other room then and see if I can find it on there. We may have to kill the main show, but I don't want to kill the main show. No, we're not killing the main show. All right, back into here. Let's see what's happening on the main screen here. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, I know why this isn't working. It's because I never selected the show that I just created in the Epiphan. It's just streaming now to my live Live Now page. That's the problem. So that's totally my bad. That's user error. So I'm going to stop the live stream, and I know you can't see the screen. I click on, where was it, under preferences, I think? Publish destination, here we go. Watch live from Epiphan 2. Yeah, okay, that's the one. Watch live. That's the show that we're going to. Now we got the right show. Now we hit start. Destination watch live. Okay, now it should be working, or it will be momentarily. We are hopefully streaming simultaneously to 2 different shows. I'm waiting for it to update on here.
Yeah, I'm still seeing it waiting.
Still seeing waiting. It shows them going for 17 seconds. Let's go back and take a look at the actual GH5, actual Chrome browser window page. Let's go back into here. Let's go back and take a look at the actual. Oh yes, no, it is live. It is live. I can see it. One watching now. Yep. Okay, so that is showing up there. Superb. Superb. This is, there we go. People are tuning in. This is the GH5 stream. There we go. Okay, it's working. So let's go back out there. All right, so it's working. So the mistakes were mine, clearly. On this show, a multitude of mistakes. One of them being that I didn't test the whole output from here first. But yeah, so that's showing up there. There we go, live. So let's just put this up. You can point the camera at that momentarily. So for those watching, if you're watching from, better?
Yeah, so that's showing up there.
If you're watching the main show, you're going to see the screen of the Atomos. You see the chat coming up, and that's whatever chat is happening in there. If you're watching the other show, then you see what you've always been saying. Oh yeah, there we go. Watch live. That's happening in here as well.
You see the chat coming up, and that's whatever chat is happening in there.
Very excitable. I can't pull up simultaneous ones on my iPad.
Oh yeah, there we go. Watch live.
But there we go.
You see this.
So it works. That's how we got it to work. So now for those of you who are watching this show, that's the one that's actually coming off the GH5. If you're watching that, do let me know what the quality looks like. I should probably put the antenna up and make sure I get a nice good strong signal here. Do let me know how the quality is. I will watch the show later on to see how that is. Clearly this was a bit of a cluster bubble of getting this whole thing together, but it worked. We are there now. Epiphan is watching that one. It says, hello Joseph, great job. I know Epiphan's going, we are never sending this guy gear again. No, this is part of the fun, Epiphan. Just get a roll with the punches here. This is how it works. So yeah, all right, so it's working. Easy to set up. Once you know the software, I gotta say the interface is not the most intuitive in the world. I don't know which camera to look at. Why don't you come back to me on this camera here and we'll go for a wide shot and we'll finish out the show on the regular camera. So you can watch either show that you want right now. We will eventually kill the GH5 one, but we are of course looking at the main camera here. So Summary
So
of the setup,
you can
it
watch either
is
show.
really
Right
easy
now
to
we
set
will
up.
eventually kill the
All you got to
DH5
do
one.
is
But
plug
we are, of
in
course, looking
your
at the
HDMI
main
input,
camera. So,
plug in a monitor. You do have to have a
summary of
monitor
the
on there
setup,
to see
it
what's
is
going on,
really easy
and you
to
have to have
set
some
up.
kind of a mouse.
All you gotta
so
do
once you
is
got that part plugged in,
plug in
you fire
your
it on.
HDMI
If you're going over
input,
Wi-Fi, you just have
plug
to
in
go
a
into the
monitor.
settings and
You do have to
enable
have
the
a monitor
Wi-Fi,
on there
and then
to see
find
what's
your
going on,
network and enter the
and you have to have
password
some kind of
like
a
any
mouse.
other Wi-Fi device.
Once you got
And
that part
then
plugged in,
by default, it
you
was
fire
set
it
to
on. If you're
YouTube. I think
going
that's
over
just the
Wi-Fi,
default
you
out
have
of the
to go into
box.
settings and
You can
enable
choose if you want to
Wi-Fi
switch
and then find your
to
network and
Facebook
enter
if you need to,
password like
but I
any
left it
other
on
Wi-Fi
YouTube.
device.
By default, it looks like it was set to
by default, it was set to
720p,
YouTube. I think that's
and
just the default
what was
out of the
the?
box.
It was like
You
1
can choose
megabit
if
or
you
something,
wanna
quite
switch
low.
to
So I pumped it up to
Facebook if you need
1080p,
to, but I left it
4K.
on
Wanted to
YouTube.
make sure we had the full-on
By
quality in there.
default, it looks like
Let's
it
see
was
what's going on in the chat here. This is nice. We can see the chat happening here. Gary says, nice to know that two streams work. I can't remember if YouTube or Facebook supports two angles via two streams. They actually support multiple. We did this once. YouTube, you can set multiple streams into a single show and let the user switch between the angles. It's really cool, but it's a little cumbersome. But it's kind of neat that it does do that. Andrew says it looks good on your end. Excellent. Super. I'm glad that that's working on that end. Okay, so you choose whether you're doing YouTube or Facebook. Choose the quality, which again, by default, it's already there, so you could just go. But you probably want to take the quality up if you got the bandwidth for it. And then by default, it's going to go to your live now. So if you just hit go live, it's going to go to your live now, which is the problem with live now on YouTube is no one can know that you're going to be there until it's there. I prefer to create an event in advance, especially if you create it well in advance. YouTube has the opportunity to promote that event for you if you've told it to. You can tell it to promote the event. What is it, 1 hour, 12 hours a day, or 2 days, I think are the options. There might be another one in there. Or maybe a week in advance. And so people get notified, whatever.
What is it, 1 hour?
And then you just go live to that. You choose that event that you've created and choose it and go live. And remember as well, as I was saying, you can choose to go live instantly. So you hit go here and it just takes you live, which is great if you're kind of a one-man operationing this thing, or if you have the time to do the setup where you got someone helping you, then go live in 2 stages. Go to YouTube first, and then you can look at YouTube, make sure everything's happy there, it's looking good, and then hit go live again. Now, what I don't know, because I didn't do it this way, is if that second stage go live, if you can activate that from the X2, or if you have to do that in your browser. I would imagine you can do it live from the X2, but I certainly can't confirm that. So maybe if the Epiphan guys are still listening, maybe they can tell us if we can do that or not. But hopefully you can, because that would just save you having to go to another device. But that's it. Pretty straightforward. So the camera, my GH5 is outputting 1080p 24, which means that the webcaster is apparently converting that to 1080p 30. So that was an interesting thing. So ideally we would set the GH5 to be 30p, but if you're in a PAL country and you're doing 25, then that's what you got. In fact,
so that was an interesting thing.
Okay, so for the viewer who had commented asking if the X2 supports PAL, 25p or 50p, Epiphan said they tested it and it does, but just on the input, not on the output side. I said what I would try to do during my live show is switch to 25p. So we're going to do that right now. This is going to interrupt the stream that's coming off of the X2.
I would try to do during my live show.
But let's see what happens. Wow, Airbus Cam 330 says, funny, I'm getting a better stream on this, meaning the one off the X2, than off the live show, the main show. Well, that's interesting. I can't see the quality. Let me check the quality in there. Hold on, before I do anything else. Let's see what this says. It's back to good. Okay, so both networks are reporting good, no issues. There should be plenty of bandwidth. It may well be that the X2 is providing a better quality in code than what the Wirecast is doing. Because remember, my main system, it goes through the ATEM switcher and then it goes into Wirecast. So the final quality of the stream is determined by Wirecast. If the X2 is doing a better quality, which it might be, hardware-based, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of interesting.
So the final quality of the stream is determined by Wirecast.
You're getting an echo on the sound from the second show.
That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of interesting.
That's interesting. Where would that be? They're getting an echo on the X2 stream? On the what?
Echo from the second video.
All right, let me see here. Audio.
Echo from the second video on the main video.
Ah, there we go. Okay, that should be fixed now. Okay, sorry guys. That should be fixed. That would be because the... Oh, that's a bummer. I wish I'd known that sooner. Yeah, that's because I had the stream in my browser on the computer, and I'd switched to the computer, which activated the audio on that. Sorry about that, guys. Well, that's live for you, isn't it? Okay, so where were we? We're going to switch this thing over to 25p. So this camera, look, there's Ryan. this camera is currently outputting, look, there's Ryan on camera now, currently doing, focus, there we go, currently doing 24p. I'm going to, let's see here, I'm going to go into my info display and turn that on so you guys can see what's happening. So now you see the actual display. I am going to go in here and switch this to 25 hertz. It's going to tell me I have to shut down. So the stream is going to go dark for a moment and also silent for that matter. And bring it back up again, and we're now at 25p. And so ideally, with any luck in here, if that has worked, we are now setting the camera set for 25p, but still broadcasting. I am still getting a signal through, so it does appear to be working. Excellent. So yeah, for the person who is asking about can you do 25p through the Webcaster X2, it does appear that you can. It's all looking good on this end. I think so. Okay. Whew. This is getting crazy. Okay, I'm gonna go into the other room and shut this thing down. Let's turn off the Webcaster. How do we do that? I think, so the power button on here, I read somewhere that this power button doubles as a start-stop streaming thing. So I'm just gonna push the button on here and see what happens. If I push the button on there, it did, that was it. It appears to have just stopped streaming. So don't push that button accidentally, that would be bad. All right, let's go back into the main room. We're done out here. You can jump on the other computer again. Let's switch back into this show, and we're good to go. All right. Sorry about the double echo there, guys. This is yet another one of those upgrades that I really need to do. I would know that if I was on ears, but I'm not on ears because I'm out there. So what I got to do is I've got to get a wireless. So I'm on wireless mic. I got to get a wireless receiver as well, so I can hear the show wirelessly. And leave it open. It's too hot in here, so I can leave this room and still be able to hear what's going on. So very sorry for that. All right, let's see what's going on in the comments here that are related to the show, and then we'll back out of the show and do a commentary on whatever you guys want to talk about. So people talking about getting the echo. Yeah, sorry guys. The problem was that Ryan was operating the camera, so he wasn't looking at the comments, and he didn't see that until quite late. Very sorry, guys. Echo, echo, echo. Yeah. Gary says the X2 has less delay. Oh, that's interesting. Mark was saying kill the GH5 mic. Well, that would have solved the echo, but that also would have killed the audio on the X2 show. So I had to come in here and kill this one. Sorry about that, guys. I'm sure a lot of you bailed out of there at that point because it was too much to deal with, but maybe not. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions, comments? So real quick, any other questions or comments about this device that we're looking at here? Epiphan is here tuning in live. I see they've been answering a bunch of questions as we've been going. Thank you very much, Epiphan, for that. I do appreciate it. And I think if there's no other questions, then we will kill this off and switch over to a commentary show. I'm going to see what Jake said. When I create a live stream from the video for church using the API, using the Google device method, I don't have to create an event. It just goes live in the live stream section. Right. So that's what I was saying. You can do that. I way prefer to create a show, and then you can go to it. I think it's a much better way to do it. Yeah. All right. Anything else down here at the end? Marvin says, having problems with a photo app account. Can you check after the show? Marvin, send me an email. Come on. All right. Let's wrap this thing up, shall we? So we're going to end this up and come back for a commentary. You know the routine, guys. I'd say thumbs up this, but something tells me I'm going to get a lot of these on the show. What are you going to do? It's live, and you know this ain't CNN. We don't quite have everything going on here. It's me and Ryan and a bunch of cameras and way too much tech. Really, honestly, just too much going on here at once. But it's fun. You'll learn something every day. All right, guys, we'll be back momentarily for the commentary section. If you're watching this live, just stick around. If you're not watching this live, click on the commentary button. It's going to pop up in just a second, and that'll take you to the second part of the show. See you in a minute.